At 3 a.m., deep inside the Russian borderlands, 6 pilots of the Ka-52 Alligator fleet are running their pre-flight checklists, completely unaware that their safe refueling stop is about to become a very expensive bonfire. Just last week, American forces in Venezuela proved that Russian air defense systems couldn't stop a nosebleed, but tonight, Ukraine is about to finish the job and prove that Moscow's invincible shield isn't just blind, it's suicidal. Sitting on the temporary tarmac are 6 flying tanks worth $16 million a pop. They are heavy, deadly, and right now, they are vulnerable, drinking jet fuel like thirsty camels. That is nearly $100 million of hardware sitting still, guarded by Panzer S1 systems and Tor M2 batteries that are watching the sky like hawks. Skimming the treetops just 30 feet off the ground is the AN-196 Liutyi. Tucked under its electronic wing are 4 fiber-optic FPV drones. The Russian radar operators actually see the Liutyi on their screens. They see the blip, but they don't pull the trigger. Why? Because their IFF transponders are set to friendly mode to prevent them from accidentally shooting down their own helicopters during the refueling cycle. That split second of hesitation is the only invitation Ukraine needs. The fuel pumps are running, the pilots are relaxing, and the clock is ticking down from 4 minutes. 03:05 a.m. The infiltration begins. The AN-196 Liutyi is currently executing a flight profile that would make a cruise missile jealous, hugging the rugged terrain at a terrifyingly low altitude of just 30 feet. It is slicing through the thick pre-dawn mist at 90 miles per hour, virtually invisible to the naked eye and hiding deep within the ground clutter. Inside the command bunker, the Ukrainian operator wipes a bead of sweat from his forehead. His heart is hammering against his ribs. On the tactical screen, the threat rings of the Ka-52's onboard Arbalete 52 radars are pulsating. These systems can supposedly detect a target from 15 miles away, but physics is a stubborn opponent. Radar waves don't travel through granite hills. By keeping the drone in the valleys, the operator is literally flying under the radar. But the Liutyi isn't traveling alone. Trailing in its wake, linked by unjammable comms, are 4 fiber-optic FPV drones, drafting behind their mothership like lethal ducklings. They slip past the outer perimeter of the Russian forward base, where shivering infantrymen armed with shotguns are staring into the dark, listening for engine noise that is being swallowed by the wind. They are guarding the front door, unaware that the burglars have already climbed through the basement window. 03:08 a.m. The stealth game ends abruptly at the 5-mile mark. As the AN-196 Liutyi crests the final ridgeline to establish a line of sight for the attack run, the Russian air defense grid finally wakes up. The search radar of the primary Panzer S1 battery, a $15 million beast armed with dual 30mm autocannons and 12 hypersonic missiles, flashes a hard lock warning. The turret swivels with mechanical violence, tracking the incoming bogey. "Target acquired!" the automated voice screams inside the command vehicle. The Tor M2 battery next to it also achieves a lock. By all rights, the Ukrainian drone should be vaporized in the next 2 seconds. But nobody pulls the trigger. Here is the breakdown of a disaster. Because the Ka-52s are currently refueling, the entire base is operating under strict weapons-tight status to prevent friendly fire. The Russian operator stares at the blip on his screen. It's flying low, it's slow, and it's coming from a weird angle. Is it a damaged Ka-52 limping home? Is it a friendly Zala reconnaissance drone returning off schedule? If he fires and shoots down a $16 million friendly helicopter, he's going to a gulag. If he waits, he might be safe. He chooses to wait. On the ground, the infantrymen lower their man pads, watching the silhouette approach. Some even wave, assuming it's one of their own. It is a moment of pure, excruciating, dramatic irony. The Russians are welcoming their own executioner, while the Ka-52 pilots continue to joke on the tarmac, completely unaware that the friendly visitor is about to unleash hell. 03:09 a.m. This is where the Ukrainian plan shifts from bold to absolute genius. It is a tactic we call the Liutyi decoy overload. As the Panzer S1 finally decides to track the intruder aggressively, the Liutyi drone doesn't dive for the target. Instead, the operator executes a violent, programmed evasive maneuver, banking hard to the left while triggering a small onboard incendiary charge. Boom! A thick trail of black, oily smoke erupts from the drone's fuselage. To the Russian gunners on the ground, it looks exactly like a catastrophic engine failure or a bird strike. The drone begins a controlled, spiraling descent away from the fuel truck, simulating a dying aircraft. The Russian defenders exhale a collective breath of relief. "It's going down! It's crashing!" someone shouts over the radio. The threat assessment computer on the Panzer interprets the rapid descent and smoke as a mission kill and deprioritizes the target, swinging its massive turret back to the standby position to avoid wasting ammo on a corpse. The infantrymen stop aiming their rifles and start pulling out their phones to film the crash. It is a masterclass in psychological warfare. By faking its own death, the Liutyi has successfully hacked the OODA loop of the entire base. The Russians think the danger has passed. They are focused on the smoking wreckage drifting toward the tree line, completely ignoring the empty airspace behind it. They have turned their backs on the door right as the real assassins, the 4 fiber-optic FPV drones, slip through the smokescreen, silent, invisible, and hungry. 03:10 a.m. The celebration on the ground lasts exactly 10 seconds. As the black smoke from the dying Liutyi drifts across the tarmac, the thermal sensors on the Panzer S1 suddenly scream a new warning. Emerging from the smog like velociraptors in a kitchen are 4 fiber-optic FPV drones, accelerating hard. The base erupts into chaos. The powerful localized jammers surge to life, blasting enough electromagnetic noise to fry a microwave. Against standard drones, this would be a game-over screen. They would drop from the sky instantly. But the Ukrainian operator just smiles. His video feed remains crystal clear. You can't jam a pulse of light traveling through a glass cable. The phantom swarm ignores the invisible wall and keeps coming. Realizing the jammers are useless, the Russians switch to kinetic panic. The Panzer's dual 30mm autocannons spin up, spraying a wall of tungsten rounds at the low-flying intruders. Infantrymen open up with shotguns and assault rifles in a desperate spray-and-pray barrage. It works, briefly. One of the FPV drones flies directly into a stream of 30mm fire and vaporizes in a puff of plastic and wire. "Lost one!" the Ukrainian operator shouts, fighting the controls of the remaining 3 as tracers zip past the camera lens. For a heartbeat, it looks like the Russians might actually win this knife fight. But then, Ukraine plays the ace. The lead drone doesn't go for the helicopters. It dives aggressively, ignoring the Ka-52s entirely, and slams directly into the massive Ural fuel tanker truck hooked up to the first 2 choppers. The warhead detonates the tanker's vapor-filled reservoir. A massive fireball erupts, rolling across the apron. It's not just an explosion, it's an instant weather system of fire and black smoke. This artificial fog bank instantly blinds the Panzer's optical sensors and forces the infantry to dive for cover. The phantom flip is complete. The Russians are now blind, burning, and defenseless, while the last 2 killer drones slip into the inferno to hunt the dragons. 03:11 a.m. The burning fuel truck has turned the tarmac into a scene from hell, but for the Ukrainian operator, it provides the perfect cover. The countdown to impact drops to 43 seconds. Through the HD feed of the surviving FPV drones, the silhouettes of the Ka-52 Alligators loom large out of the orange haze. These $16 million flying tanks are now just expensive sitting ducks, grounded and helpless. Inside the cockpits, the Russian pilots finally realize the game is up. They spot the angry bees emerging from the smoke at eye level. The arrogance vanishes instantly, replaced by primal fear. They don't try to take off. There is no time. They pop the canopy latches and scramble out, abandoning their machines and running across the apron like rats leaving a sinking ship. High overhead, 2 Russian Su-35 fighters scream past at Mach 1, their pilots desperate to intervene. But they are powerless. They are moving too fast, too high, and the chaos on the ground is too dense. They can't fire missiles into the melee without killing their own ground crews. It is the ultimate humiliation. Russia's top-tier air superiority fighters are forced to watch impotently as cheap plastic drones dissect their helicopter fleet. 15 seconds, the operator whispers, his thumb pushing the stick forward. On the ground, the infantry's discipline collapses completely. They are firing wild bursts of AK-74 fire into the air, screaming orders that nobody is listening to. The lead drone locks onto the exposed rotor hub of the nearest Alligator. The distance closes to 0. The Russian invincible tech has run out of tricks, run out of time, and run out of luck. The remaining 2 fiber-optic drones don't miss. They strike with surgical precision, slamming directly into the rotor hubs in the armored cockpits of the 2 nearest Ka-52s. The 165-pound warheads detonate instantly. The titanium rotor blades, designed to lift a 17,000-pound beast, are shattered into lethal shrapnel, spinning off into the darkness like giant razor-sharp confetti. But the drones are just the match. The real destruction comes from the chain reaction. Because the helicopters were fully fueled and armed for a combat sortie, the apron turns into a volcano. The jet fuel from the ruptured tanks ignites. The Vickers anti-tank missiles hanging on the wing pylons cook off in the heat, launching wildly across the tarmac and slamming into the other parked helicopters. It is a domino effect of destruction. Within 30 seconds, the safe refueling point has transformed into a swirling inferno of burning magnesium and exploding ordnance. 4 to 6 Alligators, the pride of the Russian fleet, are consumed by the flames. The shockwave flattens the temporary tents nearby, and the Panzer crew can only watch through their cameras as their $100 million protection assignment melts into the concrete. Let's look at the scoreboard. This wasn't a battle, it was an asset liquidation. Russia just lost nearly $100 million of irreplaceable aviation hardware. Ukraine? They spent maybe $5,000 on a handful of drones and a fiberglass decoy. That is a return on investment that would make Wall Street weep with jealousy. Strategically, this is a disaster for Moscow. This FARP was their secret ace, allowing them to provide close air support right on the border. Now, it's a crater. The wreckage is still burning, but the capability is gone. Russian pilots will now have to fly from bases much further back, cutting their combat time in half and burning more airframe hours. The skies over the front line just got a whole lot quieter. As the sun rises over the smoking ruins of the airbase, the lesson for the Russian military is brutal. You cannot protect 21st century assets with 20th century thinking. They relied on IFF signals and electronic jamming, assuming that would save them. But Ukraine beat them with a simple phantom flip, using a decoy to hack their attention and a fiber-optic cable to hack their technology. The invincible Ka-52 Alligator has a new predator, and it costs less than a used laptop. So, hey Russia, your helicopters used to look scary. Now, they look like modern art, specifically abstract impressionism in burnt aluminum. From almost losing the fight to a last-second clutch victory, Ukraine just proved once again that smart beats strong and ingenuity beats budget. If you want to see more expensive Russian toys get unboxed by Ukrainian engineering, smash that like button and subscribe.